Like metal people will like make fun of you because you're a classical musician. They
Yeah.
don't get you.
You don't do power
Anyways,
chords.
yeah,
You're not
like I was
cool.
like, what is power chords? Is that try it?
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Today I'm joined by a great musician and songwriter. Her self-titled EP was released earlier this year, and now she's releasing new music. Her new song "Falling in Love" is one of my favorite songs this year, and I'm sure she's gonna come out with more. You can catch her on her Instagram at Ena Mori Music and stream her new music on your favorite streaming platform. Ena, thanks for coming in.
Yes. Thank you for having me. It's been like I'm so excited to be here because this is my official, like, first official podcast.
Like a first podcast
So-
podcast.
Yeah, like with a mic. You know what I mean? Like I'm better sound quality, you know, like deep.
Yeah,
radio
I'm kind of
voice and
particular
all.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
I'm
yeah,
like,
so I'm
I'm
super
like,
flattered.
I was thinking about it. I was like,
Yeah.
Anna has a mic, right? And then I was like, she surely has a mic.
I know, right? Like I never used this for like an interview or anything. So this is my official
okay,
podcast, and I'm super flattered too. Like, thank you for having me. That's super
Sure,
nice.
sure.
Yeah.
And what's the process of producing music like now that you can't physically be with producers and other writers?
Well, actually, this quarantine, just being isolated from anyone that I know,
Yeah.
it helped me grow in terms of my creative process as a writer and also producer.
Yeah.
I actually challenged myself to produce more, and I think
Okay.
that's super cool because like I always rely on Tim because he really
Right,
gets my sound.
Tim
and I
Marquez,
sometimes
yeah,
just like, okay, yeah. Shout out to
Yes,
Tim
yes,
Marquez,
yes.
like who I think he's like sleeping or something. Anyways, yeah, like whenever
What's
I
up, Tim?
work with him, I always rely on him, and because like he has this fast production skills that I would take probably an hour and he could do in like 20 minutes, and
Right.
like it was so fresh for me actually to learn more about production, and I did some covers that I produced as well, so like it was a parang growing experience for me as well as like an
Right,
artist,
for sure.
so yeah, I've been challenging myself for producing.
I'm sure.
And yeah.
So does that
It's
mean
super
that
cool.
you're becoming more, I don't want to say it that necessarily this way, but like a bit more independent when it comes to producing? Or is it pretty much the same but different dynamics?
I guess I usually send demos with my own production from before, when I send it to Tim. I
Right,
kind
right.
of produce it in a way that I could give him ideas of how the direction is gonna go, but I never really, it was only for the demo.
Right.
So it's nice that now that I'm actually isolated and I have no one to, get some help. It's been nice. Like I really take time on production, and I also like watch online lessons. I mean, I'm growing as a producer, I
Okay, yeah.
guess, because yeah, I'm trying to force myself to do it on my own. So it's been fresh. It's been kind of exciting as well.
Do you enjoy doing it, like learning that to do it on your own? Or is it something that
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I wish I had someone else so I can do
No,
the part that I
actually-
actually like
okay.
doing? Or do you actually like doing that part?
It's a dream of mine to actually make my own song with my own production that I am satisfied with. The reason why I asked him for my Ena Mori stuff is because he really mowed the sound, and I feel like the duo between me and Tim really makes the sound of Ena Mori project. So that's why I really asked him. But also like my kind of like side creative projects, I really want to. I wish that I could be on the level of like confidence and like have confidence in my production as well. And right now I'm just learning, so I'm just like trying it
Yeah.
here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like it's I that's my dream. So
Right.
like hopefully I could, you know, learn faster and maybe like, you know, have my own sound, I guess,
I'm sure.
in terms of production.
Well,
Yeah.
you've come a long way, and whether it was with your previous band or on your solo career, I've been listening to your music for quite a while. It's been a couple years. When you transitioned,
Yeah.
when you transitioned into making music as Ena Mori, did you feel more or less pressure as an artist?
Well, that's a really interesting question because, you know, like people say, oh, it's really, you know, stressful to be an artist because you have
Mm.
this standard as well. But when it comes, like, for me, I maybe it's because I'm very isolated and it's not, I don't have much to do than just, you know, being at home and create stuff. I think it's more like I have more pressure when I'm not doing artist stuff. Like
Okay.
it kind of like makes me doubt like okay, am I wasting my time? Like you know those times that like wait, am I like just sitting here for like 3 hours straight and I'm not doing anything. So, I guess it go both ways.
Mm.
But I guess yeah, like for me right now in my emotion state I feel more pressure. I feel less pressure. I'm sorry.
Okay. You feel less.
Like,
You feel less pressure
yeah,
as to making music as Ena Mori.
yeah.
How come?
Than
Is it because
not
you have?
doing it?
Is it because you have
Yeah.
control over that whole project?
I feel like I guess it's just really my routine is to you know write and then make, record, and then you know perform to showcase and release. Those steps were my routine.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's kind of hard that I'm isolated and you know the only thing you will do is to you know just compile the files inside
yeah,
your
yeah.
Mac and just like making demos and it's just like yeah it's hard to adjust
What's the
but
hardest part? What's the hardest
mhm.
one you have, or your least favorite?
The least favorite least favorite well I think like releasing is my least favorite.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I
okay.
get so nervous. Like I have this like 2 days before I get like stomach cramps. I get like cold feet. Like it's just
No,
not
I
a
get it.
fun time. So like I
I get
think
it.
releasing is such a like I just put so much I just don't want to put so much expectation into a song, but also, you know, you have hope, and it's all like a lot of emotions
Right.
to process in like 2 days.
For
So
sure.
I think, yeah, release is my most stressful time, like among
Based,
the routine. Yeah.
based in my own observation and experience, I kind of see how long it takes before a song actually gets released from this time you
Yeah.
write it until you release it, right?
Yeah.
Some people think that like just write the song and record it, right, and then release
Yeah.
it, right? But then there's so many different processes. I mean, steps along the way in that process, right?
Yeah.
You have your actual composing, and then
Yeah.
you change that song 4 or 5 different times, and
Yeah.
then you have your arrangements, and you have
Yeah.
your recording, and then you have your
Yeah.
mixing, mastering, and then you have to work on the art design, and then all of that
Yeah.
stuff, and then eventually you have to work on your marketing before you release it. What's your
Yeah.
favorite part in the process?
My favorite part is for sure the recording.
Mm.
Recording, I love recording sessions because, you know, I have the reason why I really like it because when you're recording, you're naturally immersed to, you know, passionate about this song that you may have like a new idea while you're recording. Like me and Tim had so many incidents like that whenever I'm taking backup vocals, I had a new idea during the recording. So like we change up the whole thing. Like it's a good, passionate, positive place
Yeah.
when I'm
When you're in
recording.
the studio.
So
Or
yeah,
yeah.
whenever I'm in the studio, I'm super happy. So I think that's my favorite part. I think, yeah.
I've seen different recordings and different styles,
Yeah.
and it's so fun. And there are times where have you ever experienced like just an emotional breakdown or breakthrough while you're in there?
Actually, I had once. I think when I was recording Break,
Mm.
it's so I was recording main vocals and the other backing tracks
Mm.
in the span of, I think, 4 hours.
Okay.
And there was uh, I was expecting 27 tracks,
Okay.
vocal tracks, and the whole thing. And it was hard for me because I was, I'm still human and I need to like breathe oxygen into my lungs.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I remember like I'm just kind of like going lightheaded a little bit. I'm just like, wait, I need water. Like after like 5 takes of doing the main vocals,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I needed to like finish the whole thing in 4 hours. And yeah, I kind of went to the CR and just clear my head out,
I'm sure.
and needed to just take time to myself, like, Anna, you have to suck it up. I have to do this in 4 hours, but you can do it. And yeah, like I was able to do it, but it was a emotional one.
That's a lot of hard
But it's
work.
good because like it's an emotional song, so I guess like the
Yeah, so you got it
natural-
anyway.
yeah. So like good take, I guess. But yeah, it was really hard for me. Like that day wasn't as fun as I was expecting.
Yeah, but it's a great
I
song,
guess.
so
Oh, thank you.
the
Thank you
product
so
is
much.
good.
Yeah.
What was the first song you ever released?
Uh, first song I ever released is a song called "Got You Good."
Oh yeah, that's
Got
right.
You Good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that.
that's I released that right after my thesis because that was
It was for
one
your
of
thesis,
my
right?
thesis song. Yeah.
Mm. I remember that time, and in my opinion, your style of
Yeah.
music is becoming more refined. What's the process of going through that? Do you think about it for a long stretch of time, or do you think I want this, and then just work your way towards that?
Well, refining and having your own sound takes a lot of time.
For sure.
And I didn't really think about like I didn't really think about anything when I started as an artist. Like I didn't think about, oh, how is my sound evolving? Like I didn't really
Yeah,
think
for
about
sure,
that.
for sure.
But I guess it really takes what really takes to define your own sound is to research. I think it's just a
Okay.
passion research,
Yeah.
just over and over. Your artist, your favorite artist evolves when you
Oh, for sure,
where
yeah.
yeah, right. So I think that's the same as creating as well. Your style always changes, and I guess whenever I find a style, I go like towards to that style. But I've learned that since I have the time right now and during COVID, I'm trying to research sounds that I don't normally listen to, like folk. I don't really listen to folk music a lot
Okay.
before, so I'm trying to listen to that, and also like metal songs.
Who are you listening
as
to
well.
in the folk genre?
Folk genre? Well, it's a this artist called Tune Yards. Tune
Okay.
Yards is they are contemporary folk. Like they are kind of like, it's a trippy folk sound, and I really like them because their vocal arrangement is so inspiring, and
Okay.
I'm a fan of vocal arrangement, so I learn a lot from them as well. Yeah, and metal.
What are you
music.
getting in
I've
metal?
been listening
Who are
to
you listening to in metal?
Well, of course, Slipknot, but
Okay.
there's this actually, yeah, a lot of Slipknot. I've been listening to Slipknot like a lot, and
Slipknot
it's
reminds me of high school. Like just like so many of my friends were
yeah. Well,
Slipknot fans.
okay, so yeah, so many of my friends. I wasn't really into metal music because I was classically trained and
Oh, right,
I
right.
thought I was cool, but I guess not. And like metal people will like make fun of you because you're a classical musician. They
Yeah.
don't get you.
You don't do power
Anyways,
chords.
yeah,
you're not
like I
cool.
was like, what is power chords? Is that triads? Something like that? Like it's just like not connecting with the people. So I thought I was cool, but apparently not. And I love metal music. Like actually metal music and punk. Like I've been listening to Green Day a lot.
Okay,
and
yeah.
It's just I don't know, the expression, I guess. I just really like it, and it's a lot to learn. Like the screaming, it's still like it's still hard for me to listen talaga with the screaming, but it's so like it's expression, and I find that super cool. So yeah, I've been learning a lot of different genres.
I find that really interesting though because usually,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that all artists do this, right? But a lot of
Yeah.
times when you create music, you'd like to listen to people who you don't want to sound like. And that's what I see, right? A lot of people do
Yeah.
that. Or you just get these little inspirations from these different genres and everything.
Yeah.
What do you get from metal? Genuine question.
Yeah, I was thinking of that as well. Like genuinely, what do I like about metal? I really like the whole expression because I feel like metal
Okay.
and the culture of metal comes from the release of expression, and I feel
okay.
like it's like in the maximum core of expressing, you know what I mean? Like you are using your body, your lungs, everything to just express your even anger, hopeless, like all the emotions away. So I think that's super cool.
Okay,
And
good point.
I hope that like I could implement some some of that
Into pop.
My yeah.
Do you
into
consider
pop.
do you consider
Like-
yourself a pop artist?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm a pop artist. Yeah. And I think there's nothing wrong with pop.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either.
Yeah.
So you were talking earlier about people not understanding because you were classically trained, right? And
Yeah.
there are a lot of people now that are trying to get into music that aren't formally taught. There
Yeah.
are a lot of great resources online for being self-taught, and
Yeah.
some people have a natural talent into learning and really developing their skill without a formal
Yeah.
teacher. Give me your
Yeah.
honest thoughts. Is music school still worth it?
I think it go both ways, but it depends on the person.
Okay.
Because for me, I genuinely like music.
Yeah.
And genuinely, what do you call that? Like well, the thing is, I trained classical music when I was 6 years old,
Right,
from
right.
6 years old. And I didn't really think, like, I didn't have a brain when I was 6. So, like, I didn't really have an opinion towards, like, oh, should I, like, take some lessons to, like, learn some history music? Like, no, I didn't have that. My mother, Asian countries. Yeah. So it was just like when I realized I was training. And I think for me, now that I'm 22, I really, really I appreciated my parents putting me into classical music because there's so many things that you can learn from classical music that implement, like it could go both ways with
Right.
metal. Goes both ways with jazz, any type of music, because that's like the foundation of music is classical music. And so like there's so many boring stuff in classical, and I honestly took classical music for granted. Like literally I didn't really like it. That's why I moved to jazz, moved to pop, anything else but classical. But now that I look back, I really, really loved the fact that I trained classical. And there's nothing wrong with self-taught, because if I can do self-taught, like that will be, and I'm trying to do it right now with producing.
Right.
But if I can do it on my own, that's super, like that's the best. But I think I really recommend at least a mentor for
Okay, okay.
just learning things, because if you have someone that knows more about, anything that you want to learn,
Mm,
it's easy to
right.
be inspired
Mm,
and easy to get through like all the frustration of all
for sure,
what's
for sure,
this note or anything.
for
Yeah.
sure. I think that's a good
So
point.
yeah, mentor
Uh,
is number one. Like as long as
oh, for
you have a
sure,
good
for sure.
mentor that you get inspired, you don't have to go to school with that. But
Yeah.
wait, am I choppy?
No, you're fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Oh
as
wait.
long as you
Yeah,
don't
good, good.
you have a good mentor. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to pay tuition for music school. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
find mentors online. You could find it
Mm,
in documentaries about like artists, and
mm.
yeah, it's a learning process.
I find that really
Music is a learning
interesting.
process. Yeah.
Because for example, my cousin went to the same school as you. You
Yeah.
both went to Benilde for music, right? Um,
Ooh.
when I remember when he entered, him and I roughly had the same
Yeah.
level amount of music theory.
Yeah.
I learned from my dad mostly and just playing at church. So I'm not a
Yeah.
big musician, right? But I know how to play a bit, right?
Yeah.
When he entered college, we were both pretty much kind of same level of music theory, right?
Yeah.
After like a year, I didn't understand anything he was saying anymore.
That's what happens. Like you become like a natural nerd of music theory. And I feel like okay, a lot of musicians are successful without music theory, and I think that's great for them. But if you really want to go in depth with your creativity, I feel like knowing music theory is such a big deal, because I didn't really study much music theory. I just did classical music,
Oh, right,
and
right,
when
right.
I entered college and start learning music theory, you will realize, okay, that's what I was doing in
Oh, yeah,
my
yeah, yeah,
piece.
for
You know what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I could explain myself what I'm doing,
Right,
and
right.
that will make sense. And honestly, I heard some artists like, oh, music theory just put you in a box. I don't think music theory is freeing, and it's not true. I feel like music theory is just a knowledge. You don't have to do that chords, you know what I mean? Like it's just a matter of awareness, and I feel like that's super cool that I'm doing this, that's why it works in the next chord, or
Right,
something
right.
like that. It's a fun experience for me to learn music theory. Not everyone, but I had so much fun with music theory.
That's why I found it really interesting because by the time that my cousin, because my cousin and I would ride home together often.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were certain points where we'd ride home together and he'd criticize the music that I was listening to. He'd be like, oh, like that chord is in the wrong place. And I'm like, whoa there.
Wow,
no,
Nathan.
no, but
I'm just
I think that's an important thing also, especially if you're going into producing, right? Am I right on
Yeah.
that? Like, is it more important for the producer side than the writer side, or do you think it's like
Oh,
both
it
parts really need that?
both. I totally think that writers, like songwriters, needs theory like more than anyone else. I think because I feel like it just takes the songwriting into a next level if you know some stuff. You know what I mean? Like you don't
For sure.
have to be like naturally creative. If you know some music theory, like
That's
there's
true.
an option for like this chord or
Yeah.
this chord. And I think yeah, for producers as well, like whenever actually for producers I feel like yeah, music theory, but also like arrangements as well.
Right,
I feel
right.
like producer really needs an arrangement knowledge when it comes to, adding percussions and adding melodies and chords. And I think the balance of it, I think it's really important for producers to sort of know and
For sure.
make their own path into it. So yeah, I think arranging is number one, but as in music theory, hands down. Like it's nice to know.
Oh, for sure.
there's nothing minus to know about. So
I like how you
yeah,
mentioned the percussion and stuff because those like the layers people don't
yeah,
notice.
yeah,
On average, how many tracks do you have in one of your songs?
dude.
Okay, okay.
Do you want to know?
Because like coming from
Yeah,
someone who doesn't produce, right? You'll think, okay, you have your vocals, maybe like a one background vocal, and then you'll
yeah,
have a guitar, a keyboard, a bass, a drums. Like
yeah,
six. But like,
yeah.
how many layers does that really have?
Well, it depends on the song,
Mm.
but um, average vocal takes will be 20 plus. Yeah, like it's just my preference. I really
Mm.
like layering vocals, and that's my thing. So,
Mm.
I like 20 plus vocals that will make me sing, and also, for production, I think, if you separate with like, well, in total, probably like 25 to 30.
Okay.
So 30 layers of sounds. But the goal is me and Tim always say it, the goal is that you will listen to the song and you don't notice
The
that
smaller
there's
the other.
30 vocals.
Okay.
Yeah. Cuz it has to it can't be overwhelmed, you know. So
That makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's crazy how
Yeah.
production works and how
I
all
know,
these things
and
are
it's so
happening.
interesting. Yeah, like that's so fascinating to me. That's why I respect so much. Like I respect all the producers, and I feel like they're so underrated because it's really it takes up arrangement skills. It takes the music sense. It takes music theory. Like it's all combined, and you can produce. And
And
I
you make a
think
song.
yeah, and like it's a skill. It's
For sure.
combined
For sure.
skill with a lot of musicality. So I really respect producers, everyone. Like you guys are doing amazing.
All right, we're gonna take a break and we'll be back soon.
Just kidding.
We won't say you're Japanese. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
Literally, I don't know. I had a DM from like a fan said ni hao, I like your song, and I was just like, dang. Anyways, yeah, let's start.
All right. Can you say that? That's funny.
Huh. Yeah.
All right. We're back from the break. All right.
Ni hao, everyone. We're back.
All right. Anna, you
Yeah.
and I, we've known each other for a lot of reasons now.
Yes.
But the main reason is because of the indie music scene. When you
Yeah.
look at it, it's a diverse community with all different, backgrounds, people from different schools.
Yeah.
Yet everyone meets up for live music. Sadly, some of the most well-known indie spots are going down. They're closing due to the pandemic.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what's the indie live community going to look like going forward?
Well, honestly, I'm very anxious and nervous how the bar is closing. And one of fans' favorite bars, like
Right.
XX, where I did my EP launch, Route 196, and other bars that are closing. I know that the fans are still connecting online and trying to make this new norm happen during online, but I feel like it's a different experience when
For
you're
sure, for sure.
actually physically there, and you could talk to fans, you could meet fans, the fans could meet themselves. Like it's
For
just
sure.
I really miss it, and I hope that there's a way to come back.
For sure.
And I am hopeful naman, pero it's just it's a nervous time I think for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite XX moment?
Ooh, what's the favorite? Well, the favorite part was when I was working on the EP launch, and I collaborate with this artist named Miel Maker of Things, and when I entered, because Miel was there since like 3 p.m. or something.
Okay. And
when I
it opened
entered,
at what time?
like 6 or 7.
Okay,
7.
okay.
Yeah. So she was there working on her prod design because she's a production designer. And when I went inside the whole her artwork and her prints and all those details, I was so amazed. And I feel like when I saw the stage and everything working, that's my favorite part of XX, like how amazing it went with the EP launch, with that artwork hanging around
For sure.
and just people having good time, because I feel like XX is such a for me it's a club where people can talk to each other, like you can hear people talking.
For sure. Yeah.
And I feel like I'm really bad at speaking so loud. I get so tired when I'm speaking so like, hey, like can you like go, like
It's
you
just
know what
not
I mean?
natural sometimes, right?
Yeah. So like it's like the perfect DB. The leveling, the frequencies are perfect. Speakers are good. The floors are big. Like it's like it's for me it's the best bar in Makati. Like a club.
Okay.
So I'm really sad that XX is closing their doors, because I had so much good memories there. So
Do you have a favorite Root moment?
yeah, Root was my favorite Root moment was, I think, the Midnight Emotion.
Oh right, I remember
launch. Like it's not even my show. Like it was so fun because it was so crowded. Like it's crazy crowded, and like people really go in. Like they don't really hesitate. Obviously, because they're paying for the ticket. Like
Yeah.
like that's stupid.
Like
when
of course you'll watch the show.
yeah, of course, right? And like they just like cram into this like small space, and like everyone's standing by the chairs or something just to look. And I think Midnight Emotion was so much fun, and it was just a bunch of our friends, like Nathan and Mercury, you guys,
Yeah.
Saint Wolf, Four Spades. Like it was like the best lineup, and like we had so much fun. Yeah, I think that was like super fun. Yeah.
I
And we're just
remember
like-
how
Yeah.
crowded it gets.
Yeah, it's so like when you say it's like it's crowded. Like it's like canned
whenever I
tuna
hear-
type. Yeah.
Whenever I'd hear like, oh yeah, we're getting like Nathan and Mercury's Saint Wolf, One Click Straight, and Four
Yeah.
Spades, and I'm just like I'm not like, I'm gonna enjoy it, but at the same time I'm like, oh, I have to drive there, I have to park, and everyone's gonna be parking there.
Yeah, oh my gosh, parking. Parking was so hard, right? Like I mean, I don't drive. I just like sit with my friends, but like
Right.
I remember like circling around that what's that road?
Oh yeah,
The road.
Katipunan, just go around and
Yeah,
around and
just like
around.
going round and around. Yeah.
And you end up
But
parking
like
at
I
like
miss
the.
it. Yeah.
You end up parking at, sometimes I'd end up
McDo.
parking like by the BDO.
Yeah.
Oh sorry, not BDO, but it's a bank.
Yeah. There's a bank, and like
Sometimes
some
I'd park
people
there,
just, like,
and then
park
I'd be
there.
like, Kuya, can I
yeah,
park here, please?
yeah, and like give him just 20 pesos or something.
Yeah, I'll be like,
just
like-
keep him
like-
happy.
Like
Yeah.
it's worth it. 20 pesos. Like,
Yeah,
there,
it's worth. Yeah,
worth
20
it.
pesos is so cheap for like it could be like 100, and like
Especially when you're
I
that
would still
close
pay.
to. If you're
Yeah.
that close to Root, you're just like yes. Especially if you have equipment, you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Root is such a fun place. Like Root, I feel like Root is such like one of the foundation how like indie community happen. It's just like people meeting at Root, people talking at Root, people performing at Root.
Yeah.
Like it's a fun bar, and I miss it so much. Root was so much fun.
Do you have any other favorite memory, regardless of bar?
My favorite memory, I think I was in Sagiho.
What show was this?
And this is my first ever show.
Oh, okay.
That's always my favorite because it's so okay. I think it was like a Wednesday that like literally.
It's one of those like Wednesday night.
Less than 5 people was in the house, and and that time I just like I think I haven't even released it. I didn't release any songs. I think so. Like I was just no name.
But you're in college, right? Like you're in.
Yeah, I'm still in college. Yeah,
You're
I'm
studying
just
music
doing
already. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like third year now.
Oh, okay.
And I had my first gig, and Sam set it up. Sam was doing his
it's a swave sound. Okay.
Yeah. He was like, "Oh, let's do a gig," and I'm just like, "But I don't have any like bandmates." And he was like, "I'll be your drummer. It's fine." So he played the drums. Like Sam never plays the drums live, but he played the drums, and Tim played the keyboard, I think. And yeah, it was like just crazy moment of like just us going crazy with 5 people in the bar. And I think but like that was my first live show.
For sure.
Like I actually, you know, showcased what I had as Ena Mori. And
how many songs did you do?
I think 3.
Okay.
Like I only had 3 for the thesis, and it was
right.
Yeah, and I was so nervous, even though it was like 5 people, and there was Sam was doing a host also. I think he was like, "Okay, give it up, don't worry," and just like go to the drums.
I miss Sam the host. Sam the host was so funny.
Yeah,
whenever I'd
he's
go to
such a good host.
Whenever I'd go to what do you call this? A gig, right? And he's the host.
Yeah.
Everyone's just so into it. Sam's like, everyone clap in 3, 1, 2. Everyone's like everybody.
Yeah.
Like no one was like
no
this is
dead
awkward.
air. Like honestly, he could be the best host if he was
He's so
in like
funny.
radio show. Yeah, and he's so professional. So like I was so overwhelmed with his like professionality. Like he was saying like, "Oh, like you have to check your lines. You have to check your gonna," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll try my best."
Yeah.
And I was so nervous, and I think that was my first like gig and I was so excited because after that I received a TF from Sam.
Oh my
which
gosh.
was like, I think it was like 200 pesos.
Yeah, okay.
And no, like
Gate
honestly,
share.
like
Gate share, right?
Yeah,
This is gate share, yeah.
Gate share and like I mean like 5 people. And it was
So you got one of the 5 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it like for me that was like such a crazy moment. Like I think Tim like filmed the video like I got 20 pesos from the first gig and like I always remember that moment. Like you would never see Sam play the drums anymore.
Oh, that's true. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, but like he was winging it. He did it. Like I think we only practiced for like 2 times. And he was just memorizing the song, and it was really a cute moment.
Do you have a
Do
you have a favorite crowd you've had?
Oh, favorite crowd. Honestly, Ena Mori EP launch.
Okay.
Like when I had my EP launch, the crowd. It's nice how like your friends could be a hype man.
Oh,
like
for sure.
Sam
for sure.
Yeah, there was such a hype man, and like everyone was into it. And I was kind of shy because you know like it's my EP launch and I have so much nervousness inside my head. But the crowd just made it good, and I had some mistakes, but like as long as the crowd was good, it's good, like,
yeah, for sure.
It was really, really good. So yeah, that was my favorite crowd moment, I think.
It's funny how I watched our friends, right, who everyone started out in these sagihos and roots, and then you slowly see them grow into bigger and bigger venues. And you're just like, oh my gosh, like, and then people start singing along. Like, I feel like, what is that moment like for you when people started singing along to your songs?
Oh, I think it's I don't remember what gig it was, but it was one of those Sagiho gigs that I had, and there were fans that that sang along telephone, and they were like
Oh.
dancing, like
Yeah, yeah,
they made
yeah.
like a choreography for telephone.
Oh,
It's
that's
just
cute.
so funny when I was like singing and everyone was like doing the choreography. And yeah, that was like my funnest moment when like people, that's so crazy, the fact that like they know your lyrics and they
Oh, for
know
sure.
how it goes. Like it's just a simple thing, but it just makes you so happy. Like it's the whole hard work is worth it when
Mm.
people start singing along to your songs.
Do you have a favorite
So yeah.
song to sing, to perform?
Oh, it
It
changes.
changes.
Just kidding. Yeah, but
Wait,
I
since
think
you haven't
yeah,
performed "Falling in Love" yet, right?
yeah.
I'll assume you didn't. Yeah. Or have you?
Um, I did
Oh,
once,
okay,
and
okay,
it was
okay.
on my EP launch,
Oh,
but
okay.
it was like a sneak peek
Mm,
thing. It's just it's not like a legit, live. Yeah, but I think my favorite song to perform is okay. Wait, I think for the
come in.
I think I would say "Walk Away." Cause like
Okay.
that's my last song, and that's when I
That's before you
give
walk away.
like
Is that
that's
the
literally
okay?
before I walk
Okay.
away. Like
Yeah.
before I walk away, I'll sing "Walk Away," and it's a fun song because there's so many elements to that song that
Mm.
is kind of like fun to watch in live shows. Like Tim will do a solo,
Mm.
I might do a solo, or there are some snippets.
Mm.
So I think "Walk Away" is my favorite when it comes to live shows. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Take me through the process also of before of this quarantine piece, right? So you have your new
Yeah.
song,
Yeah.
"Falling in Love." Tell me, what's it like to record that song specifically? If I'm not mistaken, you wrote it with Tim and Zild, or how did that work?
So it all started when I wrote the song. Actually, I wrote it in CSB. It's funny. Like, there's a funny story.
Sixth floor? Are you guys on the sixth floor?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
We were in sixth floor because I had this performance for alumni. I was already an
You were
alumni.
performing for? Oh no, you are an alumni performing.
Yeah.
Okay,
So there was I think it was one of those music Wednesdays, and I I was invited to
I remember
perform
those
in Music
in
Wednesday.
the
Yeah.
SDA cafeteria, right?
Yeah, it's an SDA cafeteria, which is like so much reverb, and you only hear like, "Wah, wah, wah, wah," like it's just, you don't know what she's saying. Anyways,
Yeah.
so I was waiting for we were waiting for our turn, to perform, and we were waiting in sixth floor because
Because
aircon.
you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, aircon.
Yeah,
In the studio?
it's not the it's no, it's not a studio.
Oh, okay.
It's a piano room. So there's like a
Oh,
piano,
okay,
like
okay,
sets of piano.
okay.
Yeah. And I was just playing around, and I was showing Tim my ideas with like melodies and all that of "Fall in Love." And but I didn't really have the topic to write about, like any specific
Oh,
thing.
but you had the melody.
Yeah, I had a melody.
Okay,
I
okay.
always go with the melody first and the
okay.
chord.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I will like think of a topic. But Tim had a line called "Dancing in the Rain." I think "Dancing in the Rain." Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the chorus line, and that kind of I just brainstormed it, and we were kind of like singing, okay, what does it rhyme? Like "dancing in the rain," so maybe "take me to the sun," like the rain and the sun. Like we were just like doing scientific things to like how to make sense.
So
And,
it was one of those
yeah.
writing sessions that you're not just in your room like crying. You're literally thinking about, all right,
Yeah.
like what's
Yeah.
the next line? All right.
Yeah, so literally just like actual meeting. Like, okay, so let's brainstorm about this matter. Ganun. So, yeah, and we made the chorus there. We quickly voice memoed it. And yeah, I just worked from that line. And for the bass part, which is Zild, um at first we already had a synth bass. So Tim
Okay,
already
okay.
put a synth bass, I was happy with it until Tim had a sleepover with Mr. Zildjian Benitez,
Okay.
aka Tim's other
It's
girlfriend.
one of those legendary
And
sleepovers that I hear about.
yeah. They
Yeah.
just like, na-miss kita, ganun. Like, they're so sweet to each other. And, like, I call them as, like, actual girlfriend and boyfriend. But
They act
anyways,
like
they
it
had a
anyway.
sleepover. Yeah, they had a romantic sleepover. And he called me the next day. He was like, Anna, what do you think about asking Zild for the bass? And I immediately thought like he would never record a bass for me because I thought he has a lot on his plate. He's
For sure.
busy, and I respect him. Kind of want to be low key because he has other projects as well. So I was like, Tim, there's no way. And apparently, when he asked, he was like, "Yeah, game.
Cool.
I'm game. Just like come over to my house. Let's do it." So that was shocking. And so we went to Cubao. We commuted all the way to Cubao and we started recording. And it's funny because like it took a long time and I felt so bad for Zild because we had a baseline already, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the baseline was pretty good, like pretty solid that we love it. And Zild love it, but it was from the synth bass, which is like computerized MIDI keyboard, and not actually bass. So your bass, right? So like you get like how, what do you call that? It's humanly impossible to do some lines.
Okay,
in the
yeah.
string
For sure,
than
for sure.
a keyboard. So like there's some lines, and he really liked the lines. Zill really liked the lines as well. And we're just like, okay, how should we do this? And he was like, I'll practice. So he practiced for like an hour. He was just figuring out, okay, this is literally, I need like 5 fingers to do that. So I think like maybe we can do it like this and that. And like we were just like going through it, and probably like 3 to 4 hours. It took us like 3 to 4 hours to record that part.
Crazy.
Just to like arrange, learning the lines. Yeah, and I really appreciated Zild for doing that for my song.
Where did the idea of the music video come from?
Oh,
because I saw that.
yeah.
That was so funny. Like Zill just comes out like,
with like the blue imposter.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. That music video. It's funny because I had this song for a long time since before COVID, so I already had a music video in mind. You know, when you're listening to the song and like how the music video goes. So like I had the whole plan in mind. I needed a DP. I needed all the production team and everything. I was thinking of that. And the COVID hits, and that's not possible for me to do it. And actually, it kind of, the COVID, what do you call that? The COVID community kind of inspired me. People started doing this weird DIY stuff in the house, like baking banana cakes. Remember that?
oh yeah,
like,
that's right. Everyone just
like doing
everyone's like
those,
suddenly making cookies or sushi bake.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, like you just like poached and like dry aged your steak. Like, wow, like how? Like you smoked it for 3 hours. Like what?
Yeah.
Like those things. And that kind of made me realize like, okay, I should probably think of a like if I
DIY.
was like a DIY quarantine video that people do as well, and I feel like that's relatable for people who's at home.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's just I was so inspired that people can do anything at home.
I agree.
If you're creative and if you put your mind into
Yeah.
it, like you can do anything from home. So I wanted to try that. So me and my little sister, we set up a tripod for my phone, which is an iPhone. We didn't even have a camera because I'm not a videographer at all. I don't know anything about videos. And so we set up like an iPhone on a table. We kind of went through all the weird like animal stuff, and it's just like a concept. And honestly, the music video was really curated by Daniel Aguilar, because
Oh, okay, Daniel.
I
Yeah.
really directed all the music video, but he edited it in a way that it was so good, and I could never do that. And I'm like so happy that I asked Daniel, because I was supposed to like actually iMovie it. Like I was so
Right. Yeah.
ready to
Yeah. I know what you mean.
iMovie. Like this is gonna be DIY, like I'm gonna do that. But I needed to kill my pride because I'm still releasing the music, and it has to be worth watching. It has to be, sort of
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
with quality. So like, yeah, and Daniel had an idea like, okay, I'm gonna tell Zild that he can wear like a blue imposter thing, and he will like shoot it from his green screen. And I'm like, he has a green screen first
That
of all,
was so
and like
funny,
he
by the way.
has he has a blue imposter like suit, and it's just so funny like how. And I'm so happy that Zild was down to do it, because I knew that he was working on his new solo stuff.
Yeah.
And I was really shy to ask him to be in the video, because I felt like, maybe he won't he wanted to be low key. I didn't want him to force himself.
Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, I'm down, I'll just send you. Yeah, I will send
was so funny.
Daniel the stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was so good. Like I'm just so happy that everyone was down
Yeah.
to do it, and it just went so well. And I'm happy with that video.
I agree. It went
Yeah.
well.
Thank you.
DIY is just a thing now.
Yeah,
Like as much as we'd
It
like,
is.
as much as we'd like to have, the things from before.
yeah,
Now you're kind of seeing how creative juices work without
Yeah.
the equipment and all that stuff. So I think that
yeah.
it's a good step, just to
Yeah.
release something. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, it's funny because Fall in Love, I was really deciding whether if I should actually release it in like on September or maybe next year, because I always felt like the COVID and the whole news and the danger of COVID and the things that's happening in the world. I wasn't really in the mood of releasing something that's relatively happy sound,
Right.
And I was really debating that, and I also asked him like if I should release it. And he actually disagreed. He was like, no, I don't know if you should release it. I don't think it's like a
Okay.
good time. And I was like, okay, so I I have a thing that when someone say don't release it, it kind of makes me feel like I want to release it. You know the thing? Like, I don't know why.
So
I
when
don't know
someone
why.
tells you like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't think you should release it,"
Like, I'm
you
like,
have sort of something
huh,
like,
so you-
"Why not?" Like, is that what's
Like,
going on in your head?
Yeah, like I was like,
Okay.
okay, so you really think that I shouldn't be releasing it? So maybe I should release it? Like it just, I don't know why.
So
like
if
I
someone-
always have that.
So if someone
Yeah.
tells you you should release it, what goes through your mind then?
Yeah.
Is it like, "Oh, I'm not sure"?
It's just like, okay, I will keep that in mind. I will take that as a consideration type. It's just
Yeah, yeah.
it's just here. And I really, 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 really prayed about it. Like for weeks, I was like, I don't know if I should. I already have all the drafts. I already recorded before COVID, but I really needed to pray about it. And yeah, like just after the conversation with Tim and everything, I called up Tim like, I think I'm gonna release it. And he was like,
Yeah.
huh? Like I just told you that you shouldn't be releasing it. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I think God is telling me that I should release it,
Yeah.
because it's kind of weird. Like I had a weird moment, like,
Mm.
and then you should release it. So, and here we are. So we
Nice.
released it, and I'm really happy that I did, because it's been like I was really thinking over if I should
For sure.
release it or not.
It's a tough decision also. I kind of
Yeah.
understand where you're coming from when
Yeah.
it's just different releasing something in the
Yeah.
middle of a pandemic. It's like
Yeah.
this podcast.
sure.
It was started out because it's in the middle of a pandemic and I can't go out and really see people. So like
Yeah.
for sure, like Zoom's a big help. And
Yeah. Shout out
Um,
to Zoom.
shout out to Zoom. Thank you, Zoom, for
Yeah. Sponsor us. Yeah.
It's crazy how honestly like this year has been really tough.
Yeah.
Right. It's been a very sad year. Also, a
Yeah.
lot of things have happened
Yeah.
um, with a lot of people, including people I know, people in your family as well.
Yeah.
Um, it's been a very difficult, and we all know it's the pandemic. It's COVID-19. You mentioned to me
Yeah.
before that you have a special place in your heart for the overworked health frontliners. Can
Yeah.
you tell me more about that?
Well, it's it's sad because I mean everyone know about this news that everyone is overworked,
Mm.
and as a person that is not physically in the Philippines, it's just sad to see it online because
Mm.
I can't really reach out to them.
Mm.
I can't do physical activity that I
Mm.
could potentially support them, and my cousin who is a doctor recently
Mm.
got positive with
Oh
COVID.
shoot.
Yeah, so it really struck me, and
Mm.
he really like he was posting this photo and I really felt so bad, and it's
Mm.
such a hard thing to see because he was so weak. Like I can see him so weak but like still
Mm.
hopeful because he knows he's a doctor. He has mission to save people's lives, and now he's like in the patient side, and I don't
Uh,
know, it's just really it's a hard situation, I
right.
guess, for health workers, any people, like
Mm.
everyone, but especially for healthcare workers.
Mm.
And I appreciate each and every healthcare workers that are working
Mm.
and to keep on supporting people who are in need, even though you guys are in need.
Yeah.
Like it's just,
Mm.
and I just wish that I can do something for them, like
Yeah.
yeah, but it's really hard
If you
to
were
stay here.
here,
Yeah.
because of course you're in right now. You're in Japan. Um,
Yeah.
what would you want them to do for the frontliners? If someone's listening right now doesn't really know what to do, what are some ideas that you have that maybe some people can try?
Well, I think one thing is probably one thing I
Mm.
really value is communication. Like the first thing you could support people is with words.
Mm.
I feel like calling them and cheering them up
Mm.
even though it's hard, like you got this,
Right.
show them that you care for them
Mm.
even though you don't have the money to really actually support them.
Mm.
I think kind words can start million things
For sure. Mm.
happen. And yeah, I'm trying to reach out to all the healthcare workers that I know,
Mm.
and trying to encourage them, like, hey, like I know it's tough, but
Yeah.
let's get through this. You guys are amazing. And yeah, I think that's one thing that we can all do,
Mm.
is to just encourage them and keep on supporting them,
Right.
even though yeah. And I feel like words is such a,
Mm.
what do you call that, it's a big
Mm.
thing. Words is so effective for
Mm.
people. So yeah, show thanking them, appreciating them, and also show them love. I think that's really what I can do
Mm.
as of now, and everyone can do at home. So yeah.
That's a good point. Of course, there are some things where we hope happens, but
Yeah.
for example, we hope that their mental health is taken care of,
Yeah.
or we also hope that hopefully they're paid more. Like like these are
Yeah.
just things that we don't have
Yeah.
control of. But
Yeah.
if there's one
And
thing
it
that
sucks that we
yeah,
don't
for
have
sure.
control of. Like it's so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
unfair. Yeah.
If
But
there was
for
one
sure,
thing, for
yeah.
example, if there's one thing you can change, like regardless of the power you have right now,
Yeah.
what would you want to fight for, regarding for the workers?
I think definitely the pay.
Uh,
I mean, they're doing everything, like from everything to everything,
Yeah.
to just support people that are in need. And I
Mm.
think that I hope that, if I have the parang any political power or anything,
Mm.
I really want to try to help them in financially first, because I feel like it's so sad when you're receiving something so less that you worked so like it.
Yeah.
It's hard because I know how it feels like to really work part time. Like I worked part time, and if you don't get what you deserve, it's a really humiliating thing. It's such a like you have that frustration and also
Right.
like an insecurity as well. Like how can I not get what I need? Like it's just a need, and I did everything that I can
Yeah.
to achieve my needs. And yeah, so I think financially they should be
For sure.
paid well. Yeah.
I agree.
They need a bonus, they need a raise.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Final thoughts before we go into a break.
Yeah.
If you could, what would you like to say to the frontliners, to those who are listening right now?
Yeah, for those who are listening, we just want to say thank you so much for just doing whatever you can. Like every day, wake up and work for us and supporting people who are in need. We support you. We love you. We appreciate you guys, and we're praying that someday you guys will realize everything was worth it, even though it's a hard process right now. I just want you guys to be encouraged, and I hope that my music would be a breath of fresh air, even though you're in a bad situation or bad headspace.
Right.
So yeah.
All right. And thank you. We're gonna go for a break.
Thank you.
All right, we're back from the break. We're still with Ena Mori.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing our speed round, so it's just a bunch of random questions. Answer it as quickly as you can,
Oh my
but
god.
also try to be as truthful as you can.
Oh my gosh,
All
that's
right.
like the worst thing I can do. Okay.
All right.
Okay,
So you've
got
you've worked with a lot of musicians, right?
Yep.
The first part is I want you to form a band that you want to perform with, but
Yeah.
it has to be people that you've never actually performed with before.
Okay.
Okay. So you can have as many instruments as you want.
Okay.
Who's in your band?
Okay. Bass, Zild, for sure. Guitarist, Vince from Saint
Okay.
Wolf. A drummer, probably Boggs from Saint Wolf as well.
Okay.
So that's my band.
Okay.
So like really like male talaga, like as in
What are you guys
Super.
performing?
huh?
What are you guys performing?
I don't know, like psychedelic stuff or something, like metal / pop / jazz or
Okay.
something. I don't even know. Yeah. So that's
Alright.
my band.
You have a bet with somebody, right? So someone has a bet with you. They say that
Okay.
you can pick any friend to hit
Yeah.
3 notes perfectly. If they hit
Yeah.
the 3 notes, you win $1 million.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but they have to hit it pitch perfectly. Who are you
Okay.
choosing?
Shane Dun.
Okay.
For sure.
Why?
Yeah.
Is she really that pitch perfect?
Like when she sings live, she's I've seen her live like just few times, but she's never off pitch, and it's kind of like it's an amazing thing. She's such a talented
Yeah.
vocalist,
Yeah.
and she never missed a pitch. So I think Shane Dun for sure.
All right,
Yeah.
you have a festival lineup that you can make, right?
Okay.
Doesn't matter what time. I mean, doesn't matter if they were in the 80s, 90s. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter
yeah.
if they're dead or alive. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if they're in the Philippines or abroad.
Yeah.
Who are you picking? You have 5 slots.
Okay. For sure, Mozart.
Mm.
For sure.
Okay,
Mozart.
I've asked people that question. Mozart has never come up. All right, go on.
Okay, Mozart will be so hip.
Mm.
And Earth, Wind and Fire for like
Ooh,
the ending.
All right.
Probably Green Day to hype it up.
Ooh.
Probably well, for sure Michael Jackson and
You have one
the
more.
Queen. Queen is like it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be amazing.
I hope you're gonna earn money because look at that TF. I wonder
Yeah.
how much that costs.
Oh my god. Mozart is an opening act, guys. He's just an opening ceremony. Everyone's like sitting and just taking tickets, like, Jessica, get my seats, stuff like that. Like, everyone's just like, getting their popcorns.
There are some like classical lovers right now. They're just like, how dare you?
Yeah, they're just like, how dare you? Like, have you listened to their concert? And so yeah.
All right,
but it's fine. Mozart is an opening act. I'm sorry.
So
I love you though.
So is that the same lineup you'd have if you could watch anyone live? I'd assume that's it, right?
Yeah, because like I feel like I'm just listing people that I could never watch. I think in my life, it's nice to like, watch them. But I think Green Day could be watched. Like they're still
Green Day you can watch.
Yeah.
Them. All right, so you have a day 2.
Yeah.
In day 2, you can only pick active artists.
Okay.
All right. So who are you picking for your day 2 lineup? I know it's only 5, like it's not a lot, but
okay.
You have only TF, so it's fine.
Okay. Okay, wait, this is a speed test, but
go ahead.
A band called Muna, because I'm obsessed with Muna.
Okay.
They're such a great band. Sophie and Stevens. And 21 Pilots.
Oh,
I think
I've watched
cool.
them actually. Yeah.
I know. I hate that. Like, I really want to watch them. Probably like one local act, no? Like maybe Unique. That would be cool.
Okay.
Like Unique will be one of it. And last act, probably like Blackpink.
Ooh,
or something,
right?
That would be so cool. Like what? Like every people from a part of the world, like just like connecting. Yeah, that would be so cool.
All right,
and I'll earn a lot of money. Yeah.
Other than what you usually do, what's something in quarantine that people wouldn't really expect from you that you're doing?
Oh, knitting.
You're knitting?
Yo.
Can I see?
Hold on. I literally. I made this. Ta-da!
Oh shoot! Is it like a?
Yeah.
What's it
this
for?
Is like I actually did it for my friend because she wanted it and she liked it, and I kind of wanted to like challenge myself to do it. But it's like a pen.
How long did it take for you
with like a pouch
to make that?
I think it was like 45 minutes.
Oh, what? What kind of stitching do you do?
This is like a crochet knitting.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that means, but it's a cool knitting. Like my grandma taught me how to knit, and I used to knit when I was small. Like I don't really remember, and I needed to, bring it back to my brain so that I have something to do. So knitting is one thing.
If you weren't a musician, what would you be?
I would be a. Oh my gosh, what am I gonna be? Fashion designer.
Oh.
I think that would be one thing, yeah. Fashion designer or like yeah, just fashion designer, I think.
What's your favorite cup of coffee?
Ooh, flat white.
Flat white?
Or cold brew.
Or cold.
Yeah.
Do you make
depends
that?
On the day.
Do you make that in your home?
Sometimes, yeah. But I don't have those like fancy cold brew maker. I just like put it in the fridge and like just let it chill for like a day. Yeah. So that's what I do. But I love cold brew. Like I need myself some cold brew every morning when it's hot. Yeah.
I'm sure. All right. So last few questions.
Yeah.
What's your song of the season right now?
Song of the season, like the name? It's a song called "It's Gonna Be Okay, Baby" by Muna. So it's a song that it kind of I really like the lyrics because like it goes to this really hard times. Like they just talk about the hard times, but the chorus is "It's gonna be okay."
Right.
Like everything's gonna be fine, guys. Even though it may not seem like it. Everything's gonna be fine. So that's
nice.
The song of the season.
All right, last question. What would your message be to people listening to you right now? If you could say anything to them, what would you want to say?
I love you so much. And I'm happy that you guys liked my song. Yeah.
You want to give anyone a shout out?
Oh, shout out to my street team, Stromeries. They are so passionate and they really believed in my music, and I really, really appreciate everything that they do in terms of online. It's just they just post a lot of stuff.
Wait,
and it's kind of crazy.
Why a strawberry? I didn't ask that earlier.
Oh, it's funny. I didn't even plan that. It's okay. So the first song called "Gotcha Good," in the artwork, I have like a strawberry in the box, and like I have the hand, and people started using that strawberry. Like,
I never realized that.
Tweet.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. Like I should like put strawberries, and it just became like a habit to like put strawberries in it.
All right, where can people find you, and what's coming up next?
Oh, okay. You could find me on Spotify and all the streaming platforms that is existed, and also Twitter, Instagram. I have an official Facebook page as well, and the new stuff are coming, but I cannot tell you yet.
What can we expect?
Ooh, maybe a new single.
Okay.
I think you could expect another single
right.
that will be probably released somewhere around the time being.
Very specific.
Somewhere around. Yeah, I love how like specific that is.
All right.
Anyways.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Trey. It's been nice, and I'm happy that I had so much fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being as honest as you can about your thoughts on music, school, whatever. The frontliners as well, and all those great things that we spoke about. Ena, thank you. All right, I hope
thank
you
you.
Soon.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you find your podcasts. Also, click subscribe on YouTube if you're here. I'll see you next time.